Welcome, humans and viewers of the stream that are here at the stream. Big shout out to... Let's look. Let's look at all the bots. We're going to give them a shout out because nobody ever... Discord for streamers. Nice to have you. Cashiering, also great. Thanks for coming. I don't know if others are... If you're a bot, welcome. Streamlabs, looking at you. But that's our bot. That's a bot we pay.
We like him.
We don't really pay them, but cool. If you're not a bot, hi. Welcome. Cool. We're back. It's Monday, and it's Dungeons and Dragons time. Cool. So how are things?
They're hot.
Hot, hot, hot. Anon is a robot. A robot. Alright, let's see if there's musical things that'll play here.
Well, that's what I forgot.
I don't hear any music. Does anyone hear music?
I don't know. I don't have Roll20 open.
I also don't have Roll20 open.
Why don't I hear music? Does anyone hear music?
No.
Oh,
I hear music.
I hear I have the tab muted. How do I unmute the tab?
Right click.
Can you go down to
On
the
the tab.
Sound is
right-hand
muted
side
on this
here?
page.
Oh, right.
Always allow sound. Why is it muted?
I muted it.
And you didn't say anything, Dora?
I forgot!
How could she? She was muted.
I still don't hear anything.
I hear things.
I heard it.
It means it's your fault.
Oh, I hear it now.
No longer your fault.
I don't hear anything.
Cool. We take care of all of our production pre-stream, just to make sure. Nice, too.
Oops.
For a grand total of 5.
Ta-da.
That's it. That's our game. A 5 on athletics. Alright, well, great. How does this work? Oh yeah, announcements. Stream. Kevin McLeod, thank you. Roll20, thank you. Virtual tabletop, Spotlight program, Kevin McLeod again. Royalty-free music.
Thank you.
Social media, YouTube. Roll it slant.
The birds outside your window are adding a nice ambiance.
Shut up!
I like it.
They're part of the animal conspiracy that destroys my garden.
I think that was mostly the groundhog. And maybe the rabbit.
Animal conspiracy. Cool. Well,
why are they called groundhogs?
because they live in the ground.
Right, but wouldn't you just call them hogs?
Oh,
Isn't
no,
the fact that-
we already
like-
had something called a hog.
Underground. They go underground.
Well, I feel...
They should be called underground hogs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no air. There's no air hogs.
Well, hold on. You object to the groundhog,
Yeah.
but calling them woodchucks would be okay.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
American animals.
America's fucking weird.
To be fair, I didn't realize until I moved here how big groundhogs were.
They're huge.
They're like the
They're
size.
so big.
They're the size of woodchucks.
You should be
I don't
more
know
like
what a
England.
woodchuck is.
You should be more like England, where we have a small rodent called a dormouse.
Or like,
Because they
Do they
work
li-
on.
do they live indoors?
No, they
No.
get hired as dormice often. In most hotel chains.
You also have stoats.
We have what?
Stoats. Little weasels.
Is that
we
like?
have, we have Gliss as well.
Is that like a
big
really
one.
hearty beer?
Yeah.
A stout?
I remember trying to
It's a type
convince
of
Dora that Gliss were real.
A stout half
I don't
a
remember you doing this.
raccoon.
Well, a creature called a Gliss exists, and they're regularly in the wooden boards of the roof in many homes.
This doesn't sound real.
Look up Gliss. They're real.
How do you spell it?
I think it's... I don't know.
Gliss, Buckinghamshire.
Gliss, UK.
Invasion
The
of
edible
the gift.
dormouse?
Technically, all dormice are edible, depending on your constitution and hunger.
Alright, don't play this game if you are under 40 years old.
The
Interesting.
edible
clickbait.
dormouse is a large dormouse and the only living species in the genus Gliss, found in most of Western Europe. Its name comes from the Romans who ate them as a delicacy.
They just had great taste.
Actually, now that I'm looking at this Wikipedia article, this conversation is coming back to me.
Yeah.
Because I think I made the same noise about their name the last time.
Alright, well that's our introduction. I hope we've all learned something that we'll forget as soon as possible. Cool. So, here on this stream tonight, we're going to play a tabletop role-playing game called
Which one?
Dungeons and Dragons. I'm glad you asked, Beth. Thank you.
No worries.
We are going to play it in its 5th edition, as we have been on previous times we've done this. Our players have created what we call characters. They're called player characters. And they are going to play them. They control just their characters. I control everything else. And that's why I'm called the Dungeon Master.
I like how we sped through the announcements real fast. But rather than spending that newly gained time on the game, we're gonna waste it in other ways.
Now, why would we do that?
Hey. Hey. If you plant potatoes.
It's been known to happen.
So, cool. When last we left this story, the party had a triumph, a milestone, if you will. They defeated the Hydra, or Goosh, in its sanctum in the astral plane. It was recently reconstituted after their employer Shavia had not but a year earlier dispensed of it, and in doing so set forth a series of events and mysteries that our party has now unraveled, and finds themselves perhaps turning the page on this chapter to find another chapter, or a different book. But in the way the metaphor of the title works, it has to be the same book, just another chapter of the same book that we have not yet reached totality in.
Like a sequel.
For that. Like a seagull, yes.
Yep.
So, I asked the players to write anything they would like to do during the downtime that has happened since that, and their player characters' actions. And so that's what we have done. And we're going to spend a little bit of downtime now, because I don't usually do that. And it's terribly uninteresting, so we're just going to waste some of your time talking about it. Cool. So, there were some... actually, why don't I talk, and then you'll talk? I like that. We'll continue me talking. So, several weeks have gone by. All things have been relatively quiet. You continue to receive your stipend pay, which means that all of you get a grand total of 30 gold pieces. As this will be about 2.5 weeks. So congratulations, welcome back. You've already all earned 30 gold each. Probably the most efficient you've ever been at doing something. We will continue, however, to adjust windows on my screen so I can see everything. To go. So, during this time, several of you had mentioned there were things that you wanted to do. I have read these things and planned for them. But you know who has not read these things? It's the stream. It's the people watching. They have not read these things. Unless we're watching, in which case then we will have. So not all of them have. I know Discord for streamers has not. Or maybe it has, since they were written on Discord. But Streamlabs has not. So for the sake of all the bots in chat, and maybe the viewers if they're interested, I believe Olive and Groost both had things that they wished to accomplish.
Like a simple thing is Olive, having had her book stolen from her, wanted to fashion a sturdy, like, harness, for her book, so that way it would be attached. And I kind of vision it like a goes across her shoulder, but it's at her hip, but she could swing it up and back down easily. Just whatever. But then she wanted to study Eloise a bit more, their Groose fantastical pet of many mysteries, and approaches Groose to see if Groose would like to do this.
Groose asks Eloise if Eloise would like to do this.
Eloise asks Olive if Olive would like to do this.
Yes.
Then we're all in agreement.
All right. So I picture it as trying to find any books Shavia might have or whatnot, about different types of creatures. I don't know if Groose, or we can run Groose through like different types of mental exercises or whatnot, or physical exercises or whatever.
As you would recall, Shavia's library is quite barren.
Mm-hmm.
You do find several books of poetry, which you can read Eloise if you would like, but beyond that, not much of help on the subject matter of Eloise.
Okay. In that case, I think maybe if we could take Eloise out for some field tests and exercises to see what Eloise can do.
All right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just to see, like, how does Eloise act in different situations? Or whatever. Like hunting or...
Eloise, take this parachute. We're skydiving.
Eloise, how do you handle stressful social situations?
So,
like speaking to many strangers, or unplanned public speaking.
Observing Eloise in a roughly free-range situation reveals that Eloise is curious, frequently hungry, and frequently sleepy. These are the three states of being. She seems to be broadening her appetite a little bit more than the pickiness, although it is all entirely carnivorous. Very much a fan of fresh meat. In fact, sometimes you will see that she turns her trunked nose up at things that have been cooked or overly prepared.
I hate this thing.
You do also notice that it does seem like Eloise is starting to grow. She is larger than originally planned. Groose, you also...
Compare
Groose rider yet?
Yeah.
Comparative animal size, I guess, like to what she's grown to.
She was the size of a probably like 4-month-old wombat. And
because I know exactly the size of that.
Oh, now I know everything.
And now she's well, over the course of this growth is happening fairly rapidly. I would say that she's maybe about now the size of, I don't know, a score of meerkats taped together.
How many meerkats though?
A score.
One score.
Can I please get this in the context of American domesticated animals, please?
How many edible door mice?
Right?
American domesticated animals. So, I would say about 20 domesticated American meerkats.
That's not actually that big, though.
Well, it depends on how you tape them together. I mean, you
Are they stacked?
It's 18 meerkats in a trench coat.
No, I would say that somewhat round in shape. Probably now the size of a large cat, smallish dog.
Getting too kind of too big to carry in a bag.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Definitely sort of filling out a bit. Seems happy and jovial. Yeah, about the size of a woodchuck. Maybe a little bit smaller than the asshole who's consumed my entire garden. But I see you. So, Groose, you had also mentioned that you were interested in something about the circus.
Groose is trying to score an internship.
All right. So, Olive, also in your observations, you see that it does appear that Eloise, for the moment, follows Groose around mainly, although not entirely. Sometimes goes off and does their own thing. So, Groose.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, you're right. But follows Groose, like if Groose calls, Eloise comes to her.
It seems
to Groose, sorry, to him.
It doesn't seem that Groose has an overwhelming amount of control. It just seems like it follows Groose around.
Just so we're clear, the relationship between Groose and Eloise was never, owner pet. It was more like friend.
Right.
It was a relationship of equals.
But for example, if you're saying to your friend, "Hey, let's go hang out over here," your friend would still go. It's not an owner thing, right? So if you say to Eloise, "Let's hang out over here," like Eloise would come with you.
You find that Groose follows Eloise just as much as Eloise follows Groose. To what end, you not always sure.
Fair.
You do notice alarming similarities between the two of them in terms of mental capacity. So, heading off to Baroness Lindsay's living circus, which you have availed yourself of previously, you find Groose there that she is very much willing to take up free labor, and almost as quickly as you offer to help, she is quick to put you to work cleaning up after the many animals of the circus. You do notice that Eloise seems, fairly happy and content amongst these other magical animals. You don't get the sense that she is quite as hungry or hostile to them as she might view other more mundane animals as snacks. However, both you and Olive sort of, during these process, notice that she does sneak away from time to time, only to be found again with her tiny little hands and trunk tips stained with blood. But much to your relief, it seems like all of the other animals of the circus are accounted for during this. On several occasions, you do, however, see her burp up a mouthful of feathers. And over the course of this week, you can see that not only is she growing larger, but she also seems to be developing a small set of ineffectual-looking feathered wings on her back.
I love this.
They do not look in proportion to her at all, just tiny little, things.
Is this just using Olive's analytical mind? Is it enough data to make the conclusion that you are what you eat? Like Eloise is becoming what she eats?
You have enough evidence to form that as a strong hypothesis, yes.
Okay.
Okay. It's the first sort of thing of this that you have seen. So more data definitely to be gathered.
I think in our travels, Olive is slightly curious about what would happen with rabbits if Eloise would gain stronger jumping abilities. Like in her head, she's kind of like, I wonder if I can experiment like that.
Guys, bear with me. We need to get a lot of bears and a lot of dragons. It's like build your own boss fight.
Doesn't this creature have 2 sets of human hands?
Oh no! And it
just FYI.
No, that's a very good point.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine as we're talking about this over dinner one night, I think that maybe you would just like say that, and it's like, oh yeah.
We did already know that aren't these creatures created from the dreams of children?
I wonder where those children are now.
Well, yeah. In Eloise's belly.
Clearly.
In the past. Past belly.
Yeah, that's where they are.
So how many chimera bits can a person like discern on Eloise?
It depends on the person.
How many chimera bits can Zahara discern on Eloise? Like we've got human hands. She has little feathered wings. Yeah. She has a prehensile trunk.
Yeah, it's a pretty hensile trunk.
What's up with her tail?
Lots of tails.
Like several tails, actually, all kind of coming together, almost branching out like a tree might, but they all have little bushy tufts on the back of them. You're not really sure where they come from, but they definitely don't look like they belong.
Do they look familiar to me in any way? Do they remind me of any other kind of animal or...
Make a nature check.
Creature or plant? Nature. Boop. 13. Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of creatures in the world that have tails. This is perhaps similar to one of them. As a couple of weeks go by, you get sort of more accustomed to the passage of time and how the circus works. You do seem to develop a little bit of a rapport with some of the animals, Groost, and they don't growl and snarl at you as you come near. Now they tolerate your presence. Baroness Lindsay does sort of allow you to, hang out afterwards and watch the show in which animals are kind of paraded around, many of them doing their own thing. But you do notice one thing in particular in doing this. There is a small dwarf elephant, which occasionally leads off the show. Its name is Stumbles.
Hello.
And there's no reason for you to know its name other than its name is Stumbles. It is not coordinated enough to do tricks as part of the show, but it is used occasionally on some nights when it feels extravagantly jubilant, known to start the show off with trumpeting from its trunk. And you've noticed that after seeing this once or twice, Eloise has tried to mimic this as best she can. And when she does manage to succeed in producing noise, it comes out at an uncomfortably loud volume. And the exertion she has from this noise is a bit too much for her, and she just immediately passes out every time she does it. She does come to, seemingly with no memory of her previous experience or the consequence of her actions, usually about an hour later. But you have witnessed that there is a little bit of a magical expulsion as this trumpeting occurs. It is uncomfortably loud to be around doing that.
When that happens, does the crowd kind of like what does the crowd do?
Bleeds from their ears.
Really?
Borderline, yes. It is something that is uncomfortable, very distracting. Usually Eloise is watching from far enough away so that she's not sort of like right in the center of things, as not kept front and center. And
I make it a habit of carrying cotton to stick in my ears.
Yes. And then Groost also, during this, Baroness Lindsay seems more than happy to have Eloise around, and routinely will bring patrons over to see her and show her off, etc., and offers to purchase Eloise from you almost daily.
Bruce every time explains that Eloise cannot be purchased. Eloise is a friend.
Eloise is free.
She does, after about a week and a half, cease her inquiries. You will all find a new stat block for Eloise in your journals. I have given Bethany a control over the token, but we can add other people as needed. As you will find the mechanical effects for...
Cookie, you are on point.
Yes. All right.
I can't see her stat block. I can just... Yeah. She's in my journal, but I can't see her stat block.
Me too.
Can I do that? Does that do something?
No.
That shows us a picture.
Yes, we just have bio and info.
I guess it's the control thing, not the journal thing that...
Feeding her rapids, I think, would be quite good. Very hoppy, very jumpy.
We're gonna end up toefing if we give her too many.
All right.
Hey, y'all got me hooked on jumping now.
So,
all hopped up on it, if you will.
I get it. Do I want to share this with? No, I think we can let our viewers eventually become aware of these as they happen. I think that'll be better. But everyone can see it and such now.
Yes. I'm gonna refresh.
His armor class is better than mine.
Darling Eloise.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So, on to a more pressing matters. Yes, Eloise has a 28 AC. Does not.
I guess I was gonna get studded leather.
Oh, do you have? If you have shopping things, non-magical items are available for purchase for Player's Handbook prices. And you can
just checking armor prices.
Update that as you will.
And we did the 4 magic items that we got. We have divvied such.
Oh, is there an official divvy?
Well,
there was a lot of discussion.
There's a lot of discussion. So we got a broom of flying. We got a headband of intellect, right? we got a cloak of elven kind, and then we got a quarterstaff that was just +1, I think. And I believe
Yes.
I would like to take the broom of flying. The headband would go to Zahara, the quarterstaff to Brust, and the cloak, if you should so choose, to Maliath. Now, Maliath, if there's another item that you wanted more.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying I already have a magic cloak, so I will be trying to exchange it toward as I wrote. Casey's should.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
But
unfortunately, you can only benefit from like one of each type of magical item, except for maybe
You can't just keep layering
You
on
can't just keep putting on magical cloaks. I have 4 helmets on!
One on my knees. So, but are you okay with
apron of?
yeah, right. But is that okay? Like, is there any of those items that you were really interested in?
No, they're all going to go toward this thing. So I wanted to make sure everyone else was happy with theirs.
Okay, all right. I'm good with mine. I think it gives me some good range and stuff. So.
All right.
Cool. Any other shopping, housekeeping things?
I would like to get
do?
studded leather. Can I dip into party funds a little bit for that?
I think the other thing we talked about in chat was just giving everybody 300. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
All right, so let's move that to our character sheets and put the shared stuff down to whatever the remainder is, like 5, something like that.
And then all of
it's 1. It's literally
one gold. One gold left.
One gold left.
We can leave that in party loot.
Or if you need to dip into that 1 gold, that's fine.
Okay. All right, although so we do have 3 large rubies. 2 of 50 gold each. And
I've added my 300.
And I've done my maintenance with spell scraps and whatnot. So now there's 5. Okay. And then copied 2 level 1 spells into my book.
Maybe after the session, we can talk about the consumables that we don't want to keep, so we could sell those off in case you can give us the market whatever value, if that's possible, if there's anything at all. Because I see 2 things, I'm not sure if they're going to be kept.
Okay.
Yeah, buying and selling of both non-magical and sort of mundanely magical things are it's readily can be done at this location, both in the marketplace and at the discerning exchange. Also over the course of this period, it's about 2.5 weeks have gone by. Towards the end of it, you notice that Undine one day just collapses. Seems very weak. Assures everyone that she's fine, continues to go about her duties, but definitely seems like she is growing weaker and more frail. Caspian seems very concerned in this and has expressed his concern to all of you that Xavier is just sort of dismissive of it and takes it upon himself to bring her to a healer in the village, as he claims that her mood is always brighter when she's away from Amber Lake. And so that he does, taking her into the village. And we will say this is sort of the day that we are kind of catching up to and ending up on. She agrees to go with him, as they normally go to the village 2 or 3 times a week for food and such. Shortly after this, Xavier, who's been fairly reclusive during all of this, spending a lot of her time in her study and her lab and such, comes out to all of you and fairly nonchalant in her orders to you, unceremoniously tells you that it's no longer safe for you here, and that you all need to leave and she's willing to pay you 50 gold pieces each as severance pay. But she doesn't believe it's safe anymore. And you've noticed that she's become increasingly paranoid and seems to be just doing a lot of scrying and divination and rituals, trying to divine things. Although you've noticed that despite all of this, she hasn't really been able to identify any, this is the thing I'm worried about. And if you inquire, she says that Orgush may have had time to make allies. She's not sure, but they're certainly coming here. She says you're all welcome back at some point, but not for the next few months until whatever it is blows over. And she kind of shoos you out to gather your things and such.
Okay.
So you may all add 50 gold pieces as your severance pay. Each.
Thank you. Well, thanks for the experience. You can call it that.
Well, I hope it was an experience, but, I don't know. I don't want any more of you to die, and, if something wicked comes this way, I can feel it. I can smell it.
What's your plan?
Same as always. Not die.
Wow, me too.
We have so much in common.
Are
Are you sure it wouldn't be better to have us here backing you up?
No, I see you as potentially more of a liability than anything. You
Okie dokie.
come and go and make a tremendous amount of noise, which can be very useful in certain
Saved your household and saved you from the big bad god you betray. Never mind. It's all in the past.
Right, but you're not great at the secrecy element of all this. I'm not saying I will never need your services again, but right now, the best service that you can do me is no service at all. Does that make sense?
How much does it pay?
I just paid you 50 gold in severance.
I accept.
That's okay.
Yeah, not on bad terms. So, you can, take something out of the kitchen if you want.
She down as a reference.
Yes. I don't know if others do references anymore, but
Olive's a little like, okay, I've never been fired before. Well, granted, she's only had 2 jobs, but still. And
think of it more as I need to downsize. If it's any consolation, I'm throwing Ondine and our security guard out as well.
I was okay. Are you not worried about what Ondine possesses? Or do you plan on taking that back?
Why, she's stolen something?
No, the thing that you did put in her head.
Oh, I took it out. It should be no problem.
Is that why she hasn't been doing well?
She seems fine to me.
No, you're not. You're observant in other ways, but maybe not in the other ways. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. I'm good.
Do you have any suggestions on which way we should journey? What
Well,
would be the least likely way of drawing attention to ourselves from this threat?
Well, I think the threat might be against me, not against you. Hence the, clearing of the house. Colonel Bend is a great place to find work. Lots of people looking for people of your skills, passerbys, people coming and going. I know the land lands out in the wilds beyond can be prosperous, if not incredibly dangerous, but you sort of already know that. There's some good eggs, there's some bad eggs. Still not sure which basket of eggs you guys fall into, so that, keeps your options open. And, keep your chin up.
Okay.
Well, best of luck to you, I guess. So, like, Olive doesn't know whether to shake hands or like hugging, and kind of does like an awkward half bow, walking backwards outside the door.
She just kind of like steps back a little bit awkwardly from you.
Yeah. Okay.
Chat.
What?
Let's go. I don't know. It got awkward in here. We just got fired. Let's go pack up our desks.
Well,
this was more of an OSHA maneuver for safety's sake. I don't consider this a firing.
We've been fired for OSHA violations.
Everyone make a nature check for me.
Oh.
About OSHA?
I 26.
Malias and Olive, as you have finished cleaning out your things and head outside, you notice that the temperature has dropped probably about, I don't know, 10 degrees or so. And it's sort of like around midday, so it's not like, you'd expect it to decline. You also notice that winds have picked up. This seems like a mildly dramatic change in the weather over a very short period of time. This is sort of as you exit.
Are there any other indicators such as unusual or sudden cloud cover?
Go ahead and make a perception check, as you are in a pretty heavily wooded area.
I forgot how to look up. Hold on. Oh, I remember.
oh, there it is. So.
Oh yeah, up. Yeah.
As you kind of find your way to a place that's has enough clearing. Above you, not much, but looking out sort of to the south, or just from the direction of Krenel Bend and out towards the water, you can see on the horizon what appears to be a gathering of sort of dark clouds, like storm cloud looking, dark, ominous.
We should definitely move along quickly, as this is not something we want to be caught in. And I don't know what season this is, but I do feel it's uncharacteristic for the season that we're in.
Especially this area. Isn't this area kind of not trapped, but it's pretty temperate, right? Normally?
I thought it was borderline on near a desert. I thought there was a desert not so far from here.
There's a desert out to the west, yes. And then it does get more sort of jungle-like as you head east. But this is sort of sitting on the edge of like kind of a little bit more arid. It's arid door.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say we skedaddle.
Do you have any good idea of where we should head, since our host has provided 0? Just go get a job? That's what we were told to do?
Well, I thought we'd go to a big city. They're like caves, but above ground. And they sort of stole our idea of like social hierarchy. And we can see if they need anything doing.
Are you implying that all civilization is cribbing from goblinoid civilization?
Correct.
Okay, good. I just wanted to check.
Bruce, do you have a location in mind?
Well,
I see.
No. We could ask somebody. Any human being. Or non-human being. Human being isn't quite...
Broad enough.
It's not quite broad enough anyway.
Any creature.
Any common
Humanoid.
speaking creature.
So are you going... Right now you're sort of just out a little ways in the road south of Ember Lake. Colonel Bend is to the south of you. The Wilds, likely not a source of random passerbys to the north of you. To the west, there is desert.
Colonel Bend for now, right? Because that's the only place that we know how to make connections at right now. Or do you know a place to go?
I do not, but I would like to say that maybe Kreml Bend is a strangely foreign to Tabaxi situation away from problems. So I don't know if that's been resolved, but not having heard from those people who shadowed us and taunted us and etc. Hasn't necessarily made me any less comfortable here in this local area.
Well, we could always say, hey, we left the door open for you. Go to it, because we're not going there anymore. We're not there. We could start working for them. They did offer.
I mean, if that's the will of the group, my other two companions never were found. So, yeah.
Yep. No, I agree with your worry. I just don't know where else to go. Like going off to the wilds, to where? To what end?
For exploration.
Isn't there... Oh my god, what's the name of the city? Fantasy Las Vegas, nearby.
Oh my god, holy shit, what the fuck? That is the biggest spider I've ever seen in England. Holy shit, I'll be back.
I was gonna think that was a dormouse.
Holy shit.
I know.
Holy fuck, that's so big.
I don't know why the cam had to go off.
I think that's just somebody's thrashing that did that, not necessarily on purpose.
No evidence to murder, I guess.
The audio has cut out. We're standing by. We have somebody live on location.
To see whether the spider wins or Beth wins.
She's just gonna come back like covered in blood.
We should definitely
All
take bets
beaten
here
up.
in chat.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be an amazing prank to pull, though. Come back with like ichor on you.
Yeah, that would be good times. Cool.
What Fantasy Vegas? What?
The immersion is real.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the term.
I can't remember what the name of the city is, but isn't it kind of nearby?
I know what you're talking about, but I resent that you called it Fantasy Las Vegas, so I'm not going to tell you.
Fine, I'll look it up myself.
Wait, is there a document we can, or is this something in
I mean, I have
down?
the Delon World Guide. Are you thinking of Nazrael?
Maybe.
I am fucking terrified right now.
Yes, Nazrael is what I'm thinking of.
I slammed a book down on this thing and like smushed it real hard. And then I lifted the book. It's not under the book. I don't know where it's gone.
This is like the mystery thriller of the summer.
Dude, I was so fucking scared.
That's why you never crush a spider. You use a vacuum.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
vacuums usually have those extendo things. You don't have to get near the critter, and they suck them right up. And only once have I ever noticed, because I had one of those plastic containers, that a spider was still inside, like trying to.
Shit, there
It's only Normally that'll kill them. So most of them.
I just use tissues.
Oh no, that's too. That's
No,
too
you have to
hands-on.
you have to use like a shoe.
I mean,
Or
if you
a
use tissues,
flamethrower.
you can feel them crushing, and so you know that they're dead.
Yeah, but you feel them crushing.
I just made.
I got it. Oh my god.
All right.
Put it on camera. Put it on. We want to see it.
We want to see.
wanna see it. We want to see this unverifiable thing that you're
No.
claiming is happening, but no, really, you were just like
Pictures or it
Hot
didn't
Pocket.
happen.
My hot pocket's ready. I need a moment. It could have been that.
Hot Pocket.
Spider is very real.
I've never been that terrified of a hot pocket.
So to answer your question, Dora, Nazrael is. We don't have a. Yeah, we don't have the world map on here. Nazrael is across the Scalding Wastes desert to the west.
Oh,
it is
right.
the. It is on the southwesternmost point of the continent. You guys are kind of like in the middle of the south sort of coastline currently. Krenelbend is known as the last stop on sort of the last stop of civilization to get from here to Nazrael, and just being around Krenelbend for as long as you have for now on about a month and a week or so, you would know that the journey typically takes probably about week and a half, 2 weeks if you keep good time. There's no interdicting weather. You survive any sort of marauders or other wildlife in the area taking things down. You can make it to the paradise city of Nazrael, which is sort of like an oasis city on the coast.
I mean, we could go there.
We could also see on our way there if there's anything we could deliver or whatnot. I mean, isn't that something that people would do? Maybe? From Krenelbend up.
We're desperate for gold.
Plus the.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
the
just
name of the
thinking of-
desert?
Is there I don't know. A thread, if you will.
The Scalding Wastes is the name of the desert.
Well, that sounds promising right there. There's likely all sorts of hidden
Go on.
opportunities.
I mean, I don't really know what we're doing.
We should decide, what do we want to be? Do we want to kill big monsters? Do we want to hunt great treasure? Do we want to help old ladies across the great burning waste?
You know what? This journey would be helping one old lady across the burning waste. So mission accomplished there.
You're not old. You're just age impaired.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
That'll be 10 gold, please.
I did not agree
You're
to this
charging
contract.
for compliments now.
Well, a dream of mine is to save up enough cash and gold and jewels and whatever else I can parlay into a deal to make some full plate armor. So that is my current, at least
How
right
much?
now.
Okay, how much is one full plate armor?
I'm more than 1,000 gold pieces away.
That's a gold.
So
That's a gold.
even with all of the excesses we've just gotten, which is
What,
by
what
far the
arm-
most I've ever had,
What
I'm
armor
still
do you
1,000
currently have?
away.
What armor do you currently have?
I have chainmail. It's a very standardized, if not slightly expensive armor itself. It's just not quite in the same league as full plate for both expense and protection.
What about?
I
okay,
say full plate, but 5th edition says just plate.
What
no
about if?
distinction.
What if we get you half plate? Because I want half plate.
Half plate
what
is a
do we-
medium armor.
Correct.
I'm not interested.
Oh. Well, I'm interested. Just in case there's a great armor god, Maclubiet, looking down from above, that wants to bless me, or below, that wants to bless me with half plate armor.
You hear a rumble of thunder in the distance.
Oh, delivery.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, half-plate offers the same protection. Shame.
Zahara, what do you want to do?
Research.
Research into what?
I mean, whatever kind of comes my way. To be perfectly honest, I mean, I'm not really from around here. All of it is interesting to me.
So you would research any topic.
I don't like where this conversation is going suddenly.
Ghost merely follows the trail that you lay out for him.
Okay. I mean, within reason.
Well, just to be clear, all of my discussion was my way of saying we should go through this Nazrael via the desert, see what adventures we can't find along the way, see what jobs we can't find if we arrive, and see what riches and fame and fortune and personal growth in both power and
friendships.
And giving the glory to, of course, Scorius. So.
I mean, I can kind of take or leave the personal growth, but
that is the most
feeling that's going to happen.
Well, I don't mean
whether you want it to
physical
or not.
growth. I don't mean height. I'm not speaking of height.
Oh no, I think I'm done growing.
Zahara's heart grew 5 sizes that day.
Zahara's heart shrunk.
Well, let's go to Nazrael.
Okay.
Who's singing the first traveling tune? I'll go first.
One of my friends was a bard.
So you said this was like a 1 to 2 week trip through the desert?
If you're well prepared and part of a caravan that knows exactly where it's going, yes.
Okay, so I think that this was also my point.
If you just decided to head off into the desert to the west, you may never find your way to Nazrael.
Right.
Let's do that. Yes.
I think we should see if we can pick up with a caravan. Maybe offer up our services as guards.
Yeah, well, that was the thread I was trying to go on earlier. Because none of us know this. Maybe we can also find out more stuff, or whatnot. But it would be helpful to not going into this totally blind. So find a caravan or whatnot.
All right. So
help.
Going Krenel Bend way, marching out into the wild wilderness randomly.
Krenel Bend to find a caravan that might be going out west.
All right. Yes. You take the familiar walk, maybe for the last time, from Amber Lake down to Krenel Bend, and it appears that you all now sort of see this storm looming on the horizon. See a couple of little flashes of lightning making the sky glow. Though it is still bright and cheery where you are weather-wise, it is definitely coming, and you can just see underneath it looks like just sheets of rain pouring down. The rumble of thunder is almost constant behind it. So you make your way into Krenel Bend. There's a little bit more activity. People also seem to have noticed the storm, appear to be buttoning stuff up. All of the sort of domesticated animals and livestock and stuff are going a little berserk at the moment. Chickens are clucking feverishly, flapping around. Goats tied to posts are just bleeding their little hearts out. Dogs are barking. Something just feels a little bit off.
Something feels a little bit off.
This ain't no regular storm.
I think we need to be worried about Shavia.
Why? She fired us.
Yes, but first, she hired us.
Right.
Well, I wish Shavia well, but I necessarily it would be counterproductive to try to intervene on her behalf. Considering quite different scale of things that Xavier is used to.
Xavier was not exactly a friend, nor was she exactly a good person. If she wants help, she can ask for it. Otherwise, onwards and upwards, and possibly left.
All right.
Would it
No.
be worth alerting her friend at the farm to at least like see if they wanted to look out for her? Let her know what has happened over this course of time. That she clearly still cares for her.
I hate jumping in the middle of somebody else's relationships.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not a relationship
Hard to say.
counselor. I'm an archaeologist.
And this character never met the farmer, so I'm like, oh.
I'm a goblin.
I know, dear. I pat Groost on his little head.
So we're just gonna let it go and not tell anyone.
Well,
We're just gonna let her be.
Well, I don't believe we have any information that others don't know. Do we?
and I mean, her friend grows like potatoes, right?
Uh-huh.
So, if, we can't do anything, what is the potato farmer going to do?
I
I
think
think
she does.
they're like special potatoes.
I think she does more than just grow potatoes. Because this land is
Obviously, I'm sure she has a very rich life outside of growing potatoes, but her primary focus is growing potatoes.
If you're very concerned, maybe write a letter detailing what you'd like and have it sent, but I'd hate to have to interrupt whatever they're up to, and especially during this very tumultuous moment here in town.
You notice amongst the people who are sort of battening up the hatches, if you were closing things, taking down anything loose outside, there's a male halfling. Seems to be scampering around, not tending to any business, but going from person to person, having seemingly fairly brief conversations until he is sort of unceremoniously kind of dismissed or pushed away, and the people go on about doing what they're doing. And so you watch him kind of go down through a row of these shops and stuff. He finally sort of catches all of you standing there, and his eyes brighten a little bit, and
Says also Brian.
walks up towards all of you in a little bit of a jog, but over a distance that's a little bit too short to run, so he kind of stops a little short, and then, I need some help.
With what?
I think there's somebody following me, or
Who?
have followed me, or I'm being followed.
Okay, have you done something worth being followed over?
I do lots of things. I've never been followed before. I'm a curious citizen of the world.
Tell me your most interesting thing.
My most interesting thing. What do you find interesting?
No, what you think is your most interesting thing?
My most interesting thing is...
No, Grace, hold on, I want to hear this.
Well, I'm a fond reader of prophecies and collector of ancient secrets. I am also occasionally forgetful, as far as I can remember, which is why I write things down. Where was I?
ancient
Writing
secrets.
things down.
Right. Yes, I think I'm being followed. I went home and there was somebody unexpected there, some creatures looking around. So I came here to seek help. Maybe that's not being followed. Maybe that's just being robbed.
I think that's called running away, actually. What kind of creatures?
Not sure. I've never seen it. It was sort of vaguely.
Of a height.
Well, tell us all the creatures that you do know, and I'll narrow it down.
Well, why don't you just show us? Maybe we just go to your house and we see.
Or that. Makes more sense.
You would do that?
Oh,
Yeah.
we're cutting right to the heart of the issue.
All right. Well, I mean, I get the sense there's a storm coming. We don't necessarily want to be caught out in it. So yes, if you would, I will. It's but a few miles out of town, to the west.
Maybe we can secure your homestead for shelter during the storm. I take it, Casey, that the storm is minutes or hours away versus days.
A light rain is already starting to fall. It's moving a bit faster than most
Like we gotta
storms
be
do.
indoors before the eye of it is. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Still, the thunder is getting louder. You do see the lightning, but it's still like, probably a few miles away. But it has probably halved the distance from when you first saw it to now.
All right. So we've got limited time. Is that agreeable to everybody? We should take shelter in this person's home.
Yeah.
Can I get a quick vibe check on the halfling?
I don't wish to be vibrated.
We can shake the half.
Mechanically using the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, I would like to know whether it seems like this halfling is trying to pull a fast one on us, or whether he is just a forgetful purveyor of esoteric arcane knowledge who...
He never said anything about arcane. You can make a wisdom insight roll for me.
Wisdom insight.
Wisdom.
Will Wheaton. Wheat thins. Wonder bread.
17.
You get the sense that you don't feel that there's really that much threatening about him. You do kind of get the sense that though scattered, and that's not necessarily an act, there's likely more to whatever story is happening than he's divulging all at the
Does
given
he strike
such
me?
time.
Does he strike me as being intelligent underneath it?
I don't know. You haven't really listened too much to it.
Not enough information to.
Yeah.
Sir. Okay. Then yes, let's go. Let us go then.
Yes. My home is a bit unconventional. Not really set up for guests, but you're welcome to have a roof over your head.
Not to worry. We specialize in unusual houses. The last one had glowing fish.
And as we're walking, I'm like, oh, if we're going to be spending time in your home, what's your name?
Yes, of course, Marcos. Pleasure to meet all of you. Olive, all of you. Pleasure to meet you, Olive.
It's kind of early for that. Anyway, keep going.
Can I get a spelling on that name?
Yes, it's just as it may sound. M-A-R apostrophe K-A-A-S.
Right, exactly how it sounds.
It's perfect. Yeah.
It's I believe handed down from my mother, who I thought I think it might be actually potentially goblin in origin, but can never be too sure. I don't meet a lot of goblins. Not that I'm trying not to meet goblins, but I just don't.
It all comes back to goblins.
In my experience, no, it hasn't. But oh, well,
Yet.
well, here we are. Several, several, several tens of minutes of traveling really goes by quick. With some conversation, of course. And as you look around, you've kind of taken a road for maybe about a third of the time. It's maybe been about a half an hour walk, and then you headed off sort of into the wilderness, going through, sort of weaving through things. You do see occasionally different spots along your journey that are kind of, they strike you as like sort of like landmarks. At one point, there's a little like cairn of stones that's stacked up on top of a boulder, long since sort of covered over in moss. It's a pretty swampy area, and large trees growing sort of thick and stalwart up from the mud itself. There are pools where the water sort of just goes with only sort of gnarled roots exposed through. He kind of makes his way fairly fleet of foot over all of this, but stopping and looking back, making sure you're all able to keep up. And then you see something that sort of sticks out to you. There's a sort of orange reddish glow off, just in distance over some large roots. And then you see sort of reflecting this light back at you is something almost metallic. And as you approach up, you see a largish structure that seems to be in the form of a long since sort of derelict, forgotten construct, almost like humanoid being that's sort of fallen to disrepair and stretched out. The head is probably 30 or 40 feet in diameter, and then the rest of the body sort of there. It is missing an arm. There's an arm sort of sunk into the water in front of it, and it appears that in the palm of the arm is a large, very large, reddish orange glowing flower. And as a picture is likely worth that many words, we will go to a picture. Can you all see that? Can any of you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And I will drag you all down. You're sort of making your way over there.
Are we just on a rock in the middle of water?
Yes.
What it feels like.
You've kind of hopped your way over to this. I actually, where's that's everybody,
Now,
right?
the construct appears to be some sort of stone. It's not like an iron giant.
It does look like it's made of metal. You're not sure what kind of metal, but metal nonetheless. It is very weathered. There are sort of rust and patches of moss and growth all over it. What is that noise?
I must go attend to cat requirements. My cat is ailing, and I will not miss the medication time.
Yes.
So I'll be back.
Take care of Portia. So, you find yourself here, and he sort of, as you... Oh, good. Now it's not finding... Alright. Well, you don't get any more tokens, because it's currently not loading. I guess I will refresh. Marcos sort of takes a step behind all of you and sort of points tentatively towards the, torso body portion of this. So at last in there.
You get just like a couple more adjectives about what we're looking for.
Well, it was larger than me, though smallish.
Okay.
Somewhat
large but small.
humanoid in arrangement of limbs, sort of oddly shaped face. I truly have not seen anything like it.
Was it hurting you?
Well, in more of a invasion of privacy sense, yes, it didn't seem all that interested in me, but I don't know if it saw me. Perhaps it wasn't all that interested in me. Perhaps it was, well, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, it had wings, yes.
Wings.
Wings, yes. And a little goatee.
Larger than you, but small. Like, would you describe it as being approximately the size of a groundhog?
No, much larger than that. I mean...
Bigger than a groundhog.
I am much larger than a groundhog.
Why don't we go in and find out?
Okay.
Is that your house in there? Do you live inside this thing?
Yes, of course.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
So silly. What's the flower? What does the flower do?
Well, it grows. It's of no importance. Just growing. It's very pretty.
I mean, I find things that glow to generally be of importance.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yes, I do agree.
I don't mean to interrupt the gardening session, but, wasn't there a robbery going on? We should see to the robbery.
Wait, you're going to rob me?
No.
No, we're seeing to the robbery.
Oh yes. Well, by all means.
Okay.
Okay.
It should all be open.
Follow me.
Not at all trap-like. Nope.
Well, do you want me to try to scout ahead a little bit?
Yeah.
Sure. I've already jumped all the way over here.
He's just going to
fairly-
stay back away
Yeah.
on the rock.
So
We're able to navigate this without...
If you take your time, yes. It's easy enough.
If you need help in there, use the secret code. Shout, "Help! I'm in danger."
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the secret code screaming?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to try to stealthily make my way inside the,
Right. Go ahead and make me a stealth check, please.
stealth. Gross.
All right.
I love how rogues get high rolls and it's like terrible.
So you move forward, trying your best to stay quiet. As Malaya kind of
20 is
hangs
freezing.
back.
Does this seem to be the point of...
Yes,
entry?
there's a ladder down through a hole in this. You can see the whole sort of torso section it's not like sitting nice and flat. It's sort of canted a little bit. One end is in the water, but it appears to be dry inside and looks somewhat furnished. And looking down, you do see that there are collection of various books and other things inside. And that is what you see down in there. Go ahead and make a... I accidentally moved the map. That's not what I want to do. Go ahead and give me a perception check, please.
22.
All right. You do notice one other thing, sort of crouching just sort of at the edge of your line of sight.
feeling that's what we were dealing with.
This is literally the most random creature I could find in the monster manual. So if you know what this is,
It is that.
You've used it against us before.
no, I haven't. I've never seen this before today.
What is this creature?
Oh, no, it's
I
was a different
assumed
game.
Holly tackled it once.
No, it's not a Nothic. I almost used a Nothic. It doesn't appear to have noticed you, but is sort of slowly rummaging through what appears to be a bookcase that you can just sort of kind of see there.
Oh, I know that.
It's about a 15-foot drop, or there is a ladder down, but it's a 15-foot drop down into this cavity.
So I've basically just like stuck my head down.
You have not said that you've gone down yet, so yes.
Okay, I'm gonna back up again. Well, there's certainly something weird in there.
That's vague.
It is humanoid, and it has a weird face, and it has wings. And it is larger than our halfling friend, but relatively small.
Like a harpy?
No. Have I read about anything like this? Anything about it ringing any kind of bell for me?
I will give you a...
If you're saying things, I cannot hear you.
That's what it looks like.
It's like a gargoyle guy. He has a big brain.
Have I ever read anything about something like this or seen a picture that in a book somewhere that looked like it?
I don't like that it told us the name.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Go ahead and make me a... What would I say this as? A religion check.
Okay. 12. Almost a natural 20.
Doesn't seem like... I mean, there's lots of things you can think of that it sort of looks like, but you're not really quite sure.
Oh, it's weird.
Oh, should we go in?
Now you said it was. I'm sorry. What were the actions it was doing? Like, was it doing a harmful act, like rummaging and stealing, like he was saying, or is it like sitting down for a cup of tea?
I mean, it certainly seemed to be rifling, rummaging.
Okay.
Disrupting organizational forms.
It is starting to rain. There's
Also,
enough tree cover here, but you can definitely see the water droplets sort of all over, speckling the water around you, catching the light of the flower off there. So now it just sort of has this like halo warm glow as it catches all the raindrops as they go down. And you also hear this like pitter patter of raindrops on sort of hollow metal.
We probably shouldn't stay out here.
Yeah.
Did it look goblinoid?
Really? Do goblinoids often have wings?
Some of them.
But like functional wings, not like you put some leather on some sticks and call it wings.
That's a wheel.
All right.
Okay.
Can I go in?
I mean, I guess.
Sure.
I'm curious.
Where's our halfling friend?
Yeah.
He's kind of down on... I didn't give him a token because my thing crashed. I'll put a token on the map. Hold on. But he's staying sort of well back.
Well away. I'll stay close just in case. Well.
I will let Groost and Sahara go ahead of me. Down. I mean, if they want to go ahead of me, but I don't think I'm the best one to be like, hey!
All right, Groost, it's you and me.
Coming, I'm just waiting for you.
Groost will climb on down.
All right. It immediately sort of stops what it's doing, crouches, and then takes a step back, looking up at you.
Hello. I'm Groost. Who are you?
It sort of narrows its eyes. You can tell it's like studying you, but does not speak.
Groost studies back. What are you doing in here?
It slowly bends down and begins to pick up something from the ground.
You know, I'm concerned that at some point in the next minute or two you're going to attack me. But I would like to make the point now that we can just be friends.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about whatever's going on.
Groost is very friendly.
I'm very friendly. So, you know, what's going on? Why are you in this large metal house? What are you picking up?
Continues to just sort of collect things up, and it's got a small sort of pouch on its belt, and it's just slowly, like, not looking down at things, just keeping its eyes up on you, just picking them up one by one and putting them in. And as you look over, there's just a sort of small sort of scattered collection of bones, and a little circle that looks like it's been drawn on the ground. And he's just...
So, what's in the bag? Can I come over and see?
He more hastily starts gathering them up and finally finishes picking stuff up. And his wings kind of flutter a little bit as you get close, and you just sort of like goes like this.
It's okay. I'm a friend. Just wanted to see what's in the bag. What are you doing? What's with the circle? Where are the bones from? You come here often?
Kind of bares its teeth a little bit at you, and you can see one of its like canines, sharp, pointy teeth. It's kind of cracked off on one side, and so just sort of broken there. So there's just sort of one fang there. The face looks pretty old and weathered, like this creature has been around for a while, and it just furrows its brow at you, and then the wings start going fast, and it just floats up about 5 feet off the ground, kind of pushes up off of the bookcase, just flying. So the room's about 15 feet tall, so it's just kind of hovering now, like in the middle of the room.
Roost's ears droop as he realizes this probably is not going to be a friend. So just gonna come closer, if that's okay. Please don't bite me. Just wanna get something a little bit closer. Maybe you get friendlier as people get closer to you.
All right. As Moliath makes his way down and into the room, the creature, and there's only that ladder is the only way in or out that you can see here.
Excellent. I shall stay right there then.
Are you up or are you down?
Notably, I'd be very cautious So if this is a lure you in trap, I would be worried about that. So I'm going to stay at the outside, definitely looking in and taking a gander if possible. But worried about like maybe additional things, putting the cork in the, yeah.
And
Until I hear reason to go down, I'm going to continue to stay up at the top.
The creature flaps its wings again and begins to fly straight, sort of at the ladder, as if it's making a beeline to get out. Is anyone doing anything? So it just begins to fly forward.
I would try to jump and grab onto it.
Same.
All right. So we will need to roll initiative in here. And
Winds don't flee the pain of a climb.
Are you rolling for Eloise there?
Is Eloise now required to be in all combat initiatives?
If you roll initiative for Eloise, Eloise is eligible to be part of the combat. If you do not, Eloise is considered a non-combatant piece of equipment. But once Eloise is part of the combat, you cannot say like I pick her up and put her away unless you use a whole action to do that.
Yes, Eloise will not be a part of this combat.
All right. So we'll just sort of, you can choose it if she's not already out for some reason narratively.
So the shatter still would work if she's an object, but not if she. I guess.
Yes, she mechanically becomes an object for the purpose of all.
Here's my question: is so if she's part of combat, who's running her? Is it Casey because she's still secretive, or is it Groost? It's a curiosity thing, not like I'm not like I'm.
Groost or Beth or whoever it makes sense.
Groost or
like
Beth.
Groost or
Two distinct beings.
Yes, Beth or whoever is like her holder handler can run her. So like if she happens to be like out with, like if it's just Olive and Eloise in a room or something, then Olive will, generally obeys commands.
And you'll just throw whatever curveballs in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I just was curious. It was
as you will see. If you do look at the intelligence score of Eloise, it's a 4. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing 2 initiatives from our player characters.
Oh,
Did you select your token?
I didn't.
I don't even see a roll for you. So you lied.
Yeah. There we go.
And built on a throne of lies.
Only goal.
All right. All right. So here we have it as we go to not necessarily combat, but action happening. Zahara, it looks like this creature is about to try to fly out. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a running jump at it and tackle it to the ground.
All right. I will consider this a grapple, and
so I will, I guess, move to there, and then attempt to grapple it.
All right.
Oh,
so
folks, I'm not good at this.
Strength athletics contested by dexterity acrobatics is what it's going to choose.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
16.
And
okay.
It struggles and flaps, but you now have it is considered grappled at the moment by it, although it is not happy, and it begins to thrash around. And while it is thrashing, you notice it does have quite sharp teeth, and you notice that its hands, though sort of spindly and thin, are host to a bevy of very sharp claws.
Tied up.
What?
Tied up.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Bruce, you are up.
I hear the Goliath come downstairs signal.
Goliath! There's things.
Just one thing. Tie it up.
Hard to explain. Is it tie-upable? What is the situation? It doesn't.
Zahara is currently
What do you mean?
currently grabbed onto it. It is actively resisting, kind of thrashing about, but is considered grappled at the moment.
Okay, so can I tie it up?
You can certainly try.
Okay. Sure. How would you like to do this?
Why don't you make a let's have you make just a general dexterity ability check in this to see if you can kind of, unless you're trying to like overpower the creature and like, you know, further.
No.
All right, so you are able to kind of lash around a bit on it, and we will we'll make this contested again with acrobatics to see. So it is a success, and we'll now give the creature the restrained condition as well.
Look, just take a moment and relax. Put those teeth away. Just let's talk it out.
It whirls around and bites at you.
Oh!
Here comes, not at advantage, 21 total.
Oh God. Why do they always bite me?
Alright, and you take 6 points of piercing damage, and then it will make a claw attack at you with disadvantage because its arms are bound. 14. 12.
11.
Does not hit.
3. 4.
Alright. It appears that it doesn't like being tackled and tied up.
Weird.
Do it for its turn. All of you are up.
Olive sees it attack one of her best friends, even though Bruce doesn't think so. And let's do Tasha's Mind Whip on it. So it's going to be psychic damage, but then also if it doesn't, if it fails its save, it can only do one thing on its turn, a move, an action, or a bonus action.
Alright.
So it's a DC 15.
It rolls an 11, so that fails.
And then takes 11 points of psychic damage.
So it takes 11. Alright. Seems a
out
little
of the way
bit addled.
So, it should be able to move as quickly or do things as fast.
It's restrained.
Goliath will descend.
Alright. So 15 feet of movement to get in.
Okay, Goliath is left with 15 feet of movement, and we'll stay there in a. I will take the dodge action just in case things come at me, but we'll assess the situation on a case basis. Things seem to be well in hand, although, like when they tied up Gollum, it's thrashing about. So, all right, good luck.
Zahara.
I actually hadn't thought this far ahead.
Like, initiative orders go fast when it's one enemy.
Are we trying to look? Do you speak Common? Do you speak? I switched to Elvish. Do you speak Elvish?
Make an insight check for me.
It's like a Pokemon. It just says his name over and over. Burbalang.
14.
Burba.
All right. As you switch between it, it definitely is looking at you, and you get the sense that it understands both of those languages.
Great,
There's definitely like a little bit of intelligence in its eyes. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot of it.
It seems sentient.
Well, it seems more so that, like, you're looking at something that's, like, processing what's going on more like a person than an animal.
Look, we're just trying to figure out why you're committing theft, that's all. I mean, it's kind of rude to just break into somebody's construct house and take their shit.
Hey, baby.
It's Grist. Sometimes those that bite you can also be your friends.
TMI.
All right. Would you like to do anything specifically?
I mean, I guess I'll spend my action trying to make a persuasion check.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah.
I see if I'm vibe.
Why is this freezing? Oh.
It's
So good. So good.
It snarls at you. Roost.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty friendly, but you bit me. So, I'm going to hit you in the face now. I'm sorry. Just know this could have been different. Roost will cast Shillelagh, and then fucking whack this thing in the head.
You have advantage.
24.
24 will hit.
How are you? What size creature is this?
It is a medium-sized creature.
I will use my Fury of the Small for an extra 5 points of damage on top of this.
Alright, you give it a good crack across the face with your quarterstaff. It looks a little woozy from it, although it's still thrashing.
Do just stop. We can talk. I'll talk to you again in 6 more seconds.
Alright, it again lashes back out at you as you're like, hey, I want to talk! Bam! Let's talk! Alright, this will be at disadvantage because it is restrained. 13. And a claw attack, 15. Nothing?
No.
Alright. And does it repeat its saving throw against your mind whip thing?
No, it's just a one time. It's just a one turn thing. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
In
should
that
be one extra
case,
point, by the way.
1 extra point of damage. Oh, because
yeah, I missed. Yeah, I missed one thing off. I think.
Is this the magical quarterstaff?
Alright, that will do it for its turn. It's just thrashing around, biting and snarling. It seems to like kind of pause a little bit when people speak, but oddly enough, every time you're like, we just want to talk, and then you hit it, it doesn't seem like it is responding well to that.
Okay.
Olive, you are up.
As my using one of my Order of the Scribes features, I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages as using its normal casting time of an action. I can do this once per long rest. So I am going to cast that, and so I can understand if they're saying anything. And I would like to yell out, you could talk to me if you want. What are you taking?
Doesn't seem to want to talk to you as your friends beat it senseless.
Okay. But I want to pay attention if in between the snarls or whatnot, are there any curses or, you know what I mean? Like if I'm hearing anything potentially that does that. So.
It noticeably, even though it snarled and made some noises, it noticeably hasn't spoken any language at all.
Okay. Okay. All right. I still do that.
Moyes.
Okay.
I would like to use my religion to see if this is a creature of some sort of significance along those lines. As things with wings that look like demons, feel like demons, and act like demons, maybe a demon. At least my character would think. There's clear correlations. I don't know if it is one. Let's ponder, shall I?
Go ahead and give me a religion check as you ponder here.
I ponder pretty averagely. Actually, 15 is pretty good.
Yeah.
16, I mean.
So looking over it and sort of how it's behaving and just kind of studying it a bit, being familiar with some, everyone like in the religious faith is kind of at least familiar with the boilerplate of what demons are and look like. The more you look at it, the less it strikes you as some sort of fiend. You're guessing that this is some other type of creature, whether it be like a monstrosity or an aberration or something like that. But it doesn't seem connected to the hells to you. And again, you are also in watching it and sort of thinking about it and just kind of, taking all in what's going on. It does strike you as something that is intelligent.
Right. Olive, I can't quite place this creature, but I can say that it does not seem to fit the basic demonic creature that I've been taught about. Is this something maybe you've studied or come across in your books? I know you love books.
I do love books. You are absolutely right about that. I will keep that in mind for the near future.
I see. Very good then. I'll leave it to you as I end my turn. I'll step forward at 5 foot and then back 5 because I'm not sure.
Okay, Zahara, you are up again.
Are we beating it senseless?
I don't want to, but if it bites me again, I'm going to hit it in the face.
How are you saying those words between your maniacal laughter? As you beat it.
Why to be friends with it?
Be my friend.
I like how you're like, bam! If it bites me again, I'm gonna hit it.
Oh, it bit me first.
Hey, okay, fine. I would like to non-lethally stab it with swords.
Okay.
Like a non-lethally carve it into pieces.
I'd like to non-lethally vivisect it. Okay. Short sword. Only a 13.
You have advantage on the attack because it is restrained.
Only a 13.
It manages, as you sort of like are a little bit tentative, trying to not do too much damage, it fully takes advantage of that, realizing what you're trying to do, and just dodges out of the way.
Offhand. Bonus action 22.
Alright, so you do strike with your short sword.
And Chinook attack. Since Groost is engaged. Wow. Okay, 11 points.
Alright, and you stab into it. It begins bleeding quite profusely. As you can see, its eyes like sort of close for half a second and then jerk back open. It appears like if there's much fight in it, there's not much left. Although the creature doesn't really react in pain.
So it's a summoned creature. Or a lot of other possibilities too.
Groost, you're up.
You know what? I'm going to give you a chance here. I could hit you, but I won't. If you don't attack me, we will let you live We won't attack you anymore. We can sit and talk. Okay. Just holding my quarterstaff defensively. Dodge action.
Alright. Good.
Yes.
Alright, it's going to use its action to make a multi-attack against you.
No!
At
Betrayal!
disadvantage. 15 hit you.
No! Ah!
And 13.
We could have been friends.
Alright. Olive.
I don't think it could have been.
Would this thing be considered a creature?
Yes.
Okay. I want to, given that I've cast comprehend languages, I now want to do detect thoughts on this creature.
All right.
So I am going to, even though it does it in an area, I'm going to ignore everybody around me and try to probe deeper into.
Don't worry, there's not a lot of gruesed thoughts. Can you link?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can look it up.
Oh, all of the reading.
Yeah.
For duration, you can cast a spell.
Do our best. Check this.
You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature. An action, you can either shift your attention. So no saving throw for the initial surface thoughts, and if you probe deeper, it gets a saving throw.
Right. But I'd like to learn initial and then probe deeper.
All right. As you detect thoughts on this, you get an initial sense that there's no fear or pain or anything associated with what's going on. It's more sort of this kind of careful calculation. Surface thoughts, almost of kind of ill omen comes through, and as you're getting these thoughts, you're getting this weird sort of echoing effect to the thoughts. Like you hear the thought, but then you hear it again. So like everything you kind of hear twice, just a little bit out of phase.
A little bit out of phase.
So ill omen, and sort of, careful information gathering. Its surface thoughts are, assessing all of you.
Like coldly, like it's not scared of us.
Doesn't
Not really.
you don't sense fear or pain, or even really frustration.
Okay. All right. I would like to probe deeper.
All right.
It's a wisdom save.
So it's an action to cast the spell, action to shift it. So you can probe deeper. Wait, as an action, you can either shift your attention. So you'd have to do it on another turn.
That's
right.
Oh, it's concentration then.
As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Can I? I want to telepathically say to Zahara, this thing is not afraid of us. It's kind of cold. It's not. I'm getting no pain from it. It feels like an ill omen.
Can I respond to you?
No, my telepathic feat only allows.
You guys can talk to each other.
Right.
Zahara just kind of mutters under her breath, well, I mean, a lot of things aren't scared of us. Most things, even.
So, just to be clear on the ill omen part, it's not thinking that you are all an ill omen. It's thinking about another separate event from all of this that is sort of a prophetic sign of ill omen.
Thank you. So like it's thinking of,
and that is first and foremost in its mind, that some sort of prophetic ill omen
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
All right. Maliath.
Olive said that she was handling it and cast a spell. I assume that's helping to handle it, but I don't know. Groost appears to be just as groosty as ever. Zahara
This is his way.
muttering, so that's normal too. I will call out to the halfling to see if the halfling is okay or if other things are happening. Matter of fact, if I have the movement, I will take 15 feet to look to the top of the ladder, make sure everything's okay outside, and then come back down if it is.
Okay. You go out and you see that the halfling has moved a little bit closer to everything. Kind of looks up at you and is just like,
yes, there's something in here. I
knew it!
Identify it. Come
know.
help identify it.
Okay.
Stay behind me, and then I just go back in.
It's sort of you see him slowly making his way there. Zahara.
Are we knocking it out?
Gonna bite me again.
Okay, I'll stab it.
Maybe not lethally.
I will stab it non-lethally.
.22 will hit. All right. Jabbing into it. No sooner does your sword find purchase in stabbing it, as from the wound it just sort of the creature disapparates.
Not my fault.
And the ropes just fall to the ground. And we will take
If
a break here.
If it had been something else, it would have been fine.
Let's take a break.
Demon! Oh.
Yeah, it was... The disapparition was not sort of a cloud of dust or anything. It was almost kind of like just spectral in nature.
Break time. Be right back.
What this? Break time. 5 minutes. Get your ice cream. Get your groundhogs. Get... welcome back to the stream. You've probably still been here, so you're not really welcome to stream. Welcome to being able to hear our audio and see our faces again. Why don't you guys say something?
Something.
Huh. What is this audio? I think there's a...
Audio is sound. See, Casey, the computer.
No, maybe it's just too quiet to hear the rain in the background. These sound effects. Okay, so now it is picking it up. It's a bit louder, but that's okay. It's a little too loud in my headset. Turn it down a little bit. Okay. Storm does appear to be picking up outside. Zahara stabbing into this creature, just sort of in a swirl of kind of purplish energy, just disappears, and the ropes that Groose haphazardly tied around the creature just fall on a little neat bundle. Looking down, they fall sort of nicely in this little circle that's been drawn on the ground.
Groose would like to inspect this circle. Does it bring back any memories of any iconography, of any kind of religious thing? Or is it a magical circle?
Go ahead and make a religion check.
Yes.
Circles are a common symbol.
Circle.
Used in many types of things.
Like the sun. This creature worships a sun god.
Oh. That's quite big. Has the halfling, has Marcos come down?
Marcos is currently making his way up and stands at the top of the ladder.
When it disappeared, did it drop its bag?
No. There's no remnants of the creature left.
Fuck.
And what dropped into the circle?
The rope that was tied around him.
Oh, it's right.
Is Marcos... I want to move so Marcos is 30 feet. I'm 30 feet away from him, so I can detect his surface level thoughts.
Was he also, by the way, here when it disappeared?
No, he was kind of... You could hear him sort of making his way up there. It was only kind of like a... He was one whole turn away, so... didn't quite get there. So, yeah, he does sort of come within 30 feet, and as you have detect surface thoughts from our little halfling friend, Marcos, the surface thoughts you get are a little bit of concern sort of for you and surrounding like something in his house. The flower is the glowing flower is kind of first and foremost on his mind, but there's relief with that thought, in that he was worried that something would happen to the flower. Those are his surface thoughts.
That thing looked like it was summoned here. Would you have done that?
Why would I summon something to come rob me and then have... That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm just saying it could have been on accident. You know, spells go wonky sometimes.
No.
Done precisely.
I'm not doing any spells here. That's not my style.
So,
Much too
what is your stuff?
meddlesome. I, look around and observe and write things down and read about things. And
What have you observed recently?
well, I just came down and saw all of you standing here. I don't see the creature anywhere.
So what does that mean?
Well, that means that you've either banished the creature somehow, or it's escaped, or maybe it's invisible.
Before my time runs out, you said you were forgetful, yes? You've been a little forgetful lately?
Good on.
It has been pointed out to me on occasion.
Do you mind if I take a peek inside your head to see if there's anything you've forgotten lately?
What?
Seems awful and intrusive.
That's why I'm asking. I'm not...
Just sort of like looks at you. What exactly business are you in?
We're in the business of helping you. I'm not trying... you said you needed help. We're here. This thing... I just wonder if there's something that did something to your memory.
Oh, no. It's addled from years of thinking too hard.
Oh, that can happen?
Oh, yes. When you think as hard as I do, of course.
I think you're doing it wrong.
Well, it's gotten me this far, so,
Oh. So that's a no.
Well, I don't see the need, really.
Are you hiding something?
We're all hiding things, aren't we? I mean, I study ancient prophecies. What if you found something that then connected you to some prophecy and now you're doomed to die tomorrow? That would be awful. I would feel
Wouldn't that
mildly
happen regardless
responsible.
of the prophecy or not?
Probably.
Well, then what's the harm?
I don't know. I don't really engage in the sort of conception of destiny versus free choice when I consider these prophecies. Merely a fascination to me, of course.
Listen, I will cook you a very excellent meal if you let me do this.
All right.
Okay. Go to detect thoughts. I go deeper.
All right. He is going to resist.
Sure, yeah. I took that all right as a positive, so wisdom.
What's your DC?
15.
All right. You are able to push firster.
Okay.
Into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, something that looms large in his mind. Into his reasoning, emotional state.
Just give us a plot relevant thing, speak.
It's it's hungry, likes the weather, the temperature outside is great. No, looming large in its mind is one thing very singular and very clearly is a person, somebody who the thoughts tell you is a daughter by the name of Gilda. And you sort of see the image of this halfling young woman. Other thing looming large in... let's see. Reasoning. Reasoning behind what he's doing. One, as you have seen, was afraid that there was something here. And needed protection, as he has said, so that's all seemingly on the up and up. But also, he is looking to hire an escort and needs the help of adventurers. Emotional state. Somewhat concerned, though trying not to show it overly outside, and has a sense of urgency that what he needs to do needs to got to be done and it's got to happen soon. So he has this kind of like little bit of anxiety associated with the time pressure. And also looming large in his mind, again, and you can even just see this, is that flower that he keeps checking back on. And the flower seems to be, tied vision-wise. The thoughts go from the flower to his daughter, then back to all of you, then back to the flower, and then back to his daughter, and then like thinking about all of you. So you can tell his mind is like connecting all of these dots together.
Well, if you needed, imagine the spell would have fizzled just as I finished that up. I'm very sorry for that poke. I will cook you a very good meal, and I tell you what, we'll probably escort you to where you need to go. No problem. I mean, well, I can't speak for everybody, but Marcos needs our help.
That is true. I mean, I do need your help and escort. But you're all welcome to. I mean, this is my storeroom. You can stay here, or if it'll all fit, you can stay in the main master bedroom living area across the way. There might be more comfortable, though I don't have much seating.
I have some questions, if you don't mind. I am a little confused with the domicile. Do you know what this was once?
As far as I know, it was a great construct back from the realm of when the large titans walked the earth. They were quite large themselves. The Algral is scattered with remains of much larger things. I think, as myths and stories have been passed down, that it was the first attempt by the gods to, turn the tides against the dragons that held claim on the world. But the Titans were felled. Nobody really knows how or why. Perhaps they were seen as an affront by the forgotten races of elves, or, seen as large, delicious snacks for the dragons, I imagine. Though they would have been comparable in size, though I hear dragon ferocity is something not to be scoffed at, but I assume this was one of their creations. Everyone assumes large and lumbering and stupid, but no, perhaps they were quite smart.
Why does it have that flower? What is the flower?
Well, the flower, I put it there. It didn't have it. It seemed like a nice enough place to the home, and I'm not really a carpenter. And I needed seclusion. It's a very special flower to me. As far as I know, the only one of its kind planted it. And I've been slowly watching it grow. Glad it finally has had what it needs to grow. I need it. It's a medicine of sorts, if you will, for my daughter. As maybe you've seen, she's gravely ill, in a manner of speaking. So it's needed for her.
What other seclusion requirements? I do not quite understand. Could you not have grown that flower anywhere?
Well, I think it requires a slight acidity to the soil, which is well found here, but also giant glowing Essie lily is bound to attract attention. It is quite magical in nature, so I didn't want, people asking questions, telling other people about it. I need its nectar for my daughter. It's not,
There's a grave storm coming. How close to harvest are you?
Very, very close, very close. it only produces nectar for a couple of days a year, so this is the first time it has done so. So I seek to harvest it next couple of days or so, and then make my way up north to my daughter.
Well, as you saw, the weather is indeed a bit threatening. Can we take efforts to secure the flower a little better?
I think it will be fine, although a storm of this size does seem like a bit of an ill omen, don't you think?
No, of course.
That creature felt like it was worried about an ill omen too.
Did it say what?
No, it didn't. I kind of poked around in it too, in its head.
Oh.
But didn't say exactly what.
Well...
Was it looking for clues here? Do you have clues here?
Clues to probably every type of prophecy ever created. I'm a bit of a collector myself. Did you know that 12 chickens once foretold the birth of a princess?
I didn't hear that story, but it sounds fascinating.
Ah, yes. It is from Glamavar. Interesting tale. They say it was a chicken of each color, and those were the colors of the gems that were to be in the crown placed upon there, and Queen got pregnant.
Fascinating. The flower is sought after magically. Then where did you get it? Because if I were trying to understand and or burgle someone, I would have to have prior knowledge, right? So whomever is targeting you is likely to have prior knowledge.
Yes, well, I had to get the seed from somewhere far away. Quite far away. As in, not on this plane, far away.
Oh.
And in your extraplanar dealings, what would have caused conflict with any sort of party?
Well,
akin to, did you pay for it correctly? Is it stolen? Have you done something to offend their honor or culture or society?
It wasn't really a for sale item.
I see.
The lilies bloom only in the Elysian fields. I don't think they're supposed to leave, but
So this might be considered an act of defiance to the people from that place?
No, the Elysian fields are said to be a place of great happiness and warmth and afterlife and life and warmth and happiness. What harm does picking a flower from there and bringing it here do?
Well, depending on cultural requirements, possibly a lot. I don't know where you got it from. Did you physically go yourself? Did you have a third party do it who may have ad-libbed their methods a bit?
I went myself and was careful to take a seed, not a whole flower, there. I wasn't there, but maybe half a day or so.
And then all of the resources to go there and all of the resources required to even conceive where you needed to go? Did you come across any rivals?
No, I paid my way for someone to bring me there and then bring me back. They seemed a little interested in more than just the payment. They said they do that sort of thing all the time. I mean, Festival is filled with wizards that are willing to send you anywhere you want to go if you pay them.
Who snorts?
Sorry, I'm just Cookie's thinking about Vesular. Olive has no idea.
Well, I trust them implicitly.
So I would like to, while Maliath is talking with him, to take a look around, this area.
I was also going to say I want to be while this conversation is happening to search the area.
All right, investigation rolls.
As they roll, I ask the next question. So, then this is all for your daughter. What grave illness has she contracted that it requires an extraplanar remedy?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. She was fine one day, and then, well, let's just say right now she's on death's door. The doctors couldn't do anything about it. Nobody knew what was wrong, so I've tried to find whatever remedies I could. And he sort of gestures, and you see there's lots of like various potions and alchemical things on the tables here, some of them glowing and such. From what you can tell, it looks like mixings for some sort of medicinal purposes. There's, all of you recognize more holistic remedy type things around and all of that.
Essential oils. That's a scam, sir.
But the lavender will save her.
What? Oh.
Epsom salts. That was the missing ingredient all along. The other thing you notice with your 25s going around, there's lots of books, lots of books all over the place. Most of them look like journals, sort of written all in the same handwriting. So you're guessing that these are somehow connected. You kind of pick a few up. They seem to be collections of prophecies. Each one is sort of independently bound, and it just contains all sorts of notes about whatever that particular prophecy is. And just looking through a bunch of them, they range from mundane things that you're like, why would there even be a prophecy for this? This is just like something that happens. And others that are sort of much thicker, that are sort of like things that are kind of like unraveling the fabric meaning of life and all of that sort of things. And you do, because you rolled so high, there are certain things in here that you find that you're like, wait a second, like, this is really fucking dangerous. Like, this guy has like written down the true name of this like ancient god, and now I've just read it. And no one can act like this. Seems like something that like no mortal should ever know. And there's that kind of stuff in here as well.
Right.
But it's all just like haphazardly like together. So the prophecy of the princess is like next to like how to summon Cthulhu.
Does it kind of, am I getting the impression like from learning from, meeting him and he's just collecting stuff as he can collect it? Like but he has no concept of what he has on hand?
More or less.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're guessing that his forgetful nature may actually shield him from some of the more deleterious effects of what this is. He may not actually even remember all of the things. There's a lot of them.
Did your daughter used to help you collect?
Collect?
Well, the prophecies. Collect your research.
Yes.
Did she help you do this?
She would come with me, of course.
Did she ever, after you found something particularly interesting, did she get sick after that?
Well, I mean, I find interesting things all the time. She was very good at organizing and cataloging. I mean, since she's been gone, look at it all. It's just
she's asking you.
There's Chicken Princess Birth interesting, and then there's like another level, a different type of interesting that seems like, oh my god, the world's gonna crack apart and eat us. Like chicken birth to world opening eating us. Like, we're on the scale of interesting.
Both of those are fascinating to me.
Why specifically, what were you after?
The intensity.
Intensity of...
Interesting.
Of what?
The last time she went out with you, what were you looking for? What did you find?
Oh.
Thank you. Sorry.
Not, let's see. Let me try to recall. It was over a year ago, and I do have pursuits take me all over. We had, headed, yes, we had headed, up north. There's a old, ruined temple, cathedral-like building. There, we found some notes on the cacophony, I believe it's called.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, so, I mean, interesting. I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So did she get sick after that?
That was before she got sick, yes. I don't know if it was right after it, but...
Okay, but
the last big adventure.
The time frame in which she got sick after your adventure.
It was a slowish process. Weeks, maybe?
Okay.
Where is your daughter now?
Like I said, very ill. Sort of on death's door.
Right. Where is your daughter physically now?
No, on death's door.
Oh, hang on. This is a physical place, yes? Like a true physical place, like death's door? Like she is with death right now at its door? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not quite. I figured the last place that death would come and look for her would be right at the entrance to the underworld itself, so that's where I hid her.
We don't belong here. We need to go.
So, I'm into fishing now. We could get out. So, why didn't you just, like, put her in a cabbage patch? Or a cave with goblins?
Well, she's very sick.
So you put her in the underworld to get better?
No. I put her on the edge of the underworld.
Door to the underworld. Right. Is it known for its healing capabilities?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that when it's time for a person to die, death needs to come out and find them, either physically or prophetically or emotionally.
Right, but how do you think that happens? Do you think death just goes 9, 10, alright, well you're not, and he just meanders around the material plane until he comes across the person?
Death isn't just one thing, but yes, I mean, if you're not where you're supposed to be when you die, then you don't die.
I think I'm quite accepting of people's off-the-wall ideas. I think you might be fucking crazy.
I've studied this for most of my life, and it's a pattern that I've observed. If there's a prophecy that says you're going to die on this tower of a wizard, then by all means, if you want to die, then hang out on the tower. But if you don't want to die, then you need to go the last place death is going to look for you.
But have you ever considered that perhaps your not following of the prophecy is in fact part of a larger prophecy?
Well, it's none that I've seen so far. I can only go off of what I've seen and what I remember.
If prophecies are real, then anything we do is already decided.
That's not true.
means-
Not everything is important enough to merit a prophecy.
How do you know? Was it part of a prophecy?
Well, because there'd be more prophecies than I could, waggle a stick at. And here I am, a finite number of prophecies. You know the last time I learned of a new prophecy?
No. Oh, was it before your daughter got sick?
I can't even remember.
Right, but if you can make a prophecy not happen by just not doing the thing, then isn't a prophecy just a guess?
I mean, what are all things in life but guesses?
Okay, right. So I prophesize.
No,
That's a horror.
you're not powerful enough to make a prophecy.
Of course I am.
I don't think I want to be involved in a prophecy.
But like a prophecy is just a guess.
Be careful! If you are trying to commit something to prophecy, then you may be leading yourself to, the end of said prophecy.
It's just
Okay,
like
this is the
like a
moment where it
plan.
has officially gotten too metaphysical for me.
So, at any rate, I need to harvest the nectar, and then have you help me get to my daughter and bring us back, and hopefully the nectar will cure her, and all will be safe, and we return, and
Out of
happily...
sheer and morbid curiosity, I ask you, not knowing the way to death's door, what would our path be here in this world for the first part to get to this other place that is transplanar?
More or less. I mean, you just head up north. One of the rivers flows in through the mountains. It's
mountains.
goes underground for quite a way, and then starts becoming way more grim, if you will. And you just sail the length of the river, and there it is, Death's Door. Like, quite literally. I was expecting it to be a little bit different, but quite literally a giant door into the underworld. It's very convenient. I mean, why wouldn't they just build an entrance and exit here on the material world? Things die all the time. It's just, good business practice, really.
So does the door go further underground or into another plane?
Yes.
To the plane? Or to the door?
It goes to the underworld, which is under our world.
Right, but like, so is the underworld part of the material plane or is it another plane?
Don't know, never been there.
But you entered the door.
Right.
You didn't open the door?
No, why would I open the door? The plan was to stash her just outside the door.
Right, but to see what's behind the door.
What is keeping her alive in the meantime?
Well, I left a fair amount of supplies. May have magically, slowed her down.
Go on, I'm listening to this magic. Yeah.
I figured that the more she was, living vibrantly or trying to, that she would be dying faster. And, I needed time to grow the flower. And it, took a bit of research to find the right fertilizer to get it to flourish and bloom, and it is looking quite vibrant. So I slowed her down, put her in a bit of a stasis.
Fantastic.
Covered her in a pile of bones and stuff. No one will find her.
So if she's in stasis, how is she going to use the supplies that you gave her?
I don't know, in case she wakes up.
I feel like this plan wasn't very well thought out.
Out of, did I say this, sheer and morbid curiosity? How far of a journey is this? Days traveled or distance?
Last time it took me about a week to head up north. I mean, depends on how active the drow are around there. You kind of have to cut through their territory in order to find
Until
your
his
way.
family returns.
It did seem both grim and dark. Yeah.
And then
I've never met any.
about a week north of Krenel Bend, and then once you find the mouth of the river, it's not but more than a day's sail there. Of course, if you don't have a riverman to ferry you there, it's probably a lot more dangerous, so we'd have to summon or charter one.
Can you locate the research that you found with your daughter before this all happened? Like right before, like the last thing you got with her? Can you locate that book?
It's in here somewhere.
Olive.
Yes.
If, and this is just my understanding of what's going on, if the prophecy is what got her... Oh, wait. God, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to understand it.
Reading a prophecy doesn't make it stick to you.
I'm going to go back to being agreeable ghost. Go ahead.
No, if you had a thought, it's okay. You were very helpful in observing Eloise.
I do like observing Eloise. So, if having knowledge of a prophecy is bad...
Well, not all prophecy. I just told you the whole prophecy about the chickens. Nothing bad has happened to us.
Well, that's because I forgot it already. But I feel like knowing a prophecy plays into the prophecy.
Have you ever heard of religion?
I'm familiar.
So, you know how gods work, right?
9 to 5.
You have a god in which...
Not on Sundays.
A god in which one single person believes. They have to believe very strongly for that god to have any power. But if you have lots of people that believe in a god, even just a little bit, then quite powerful. Prophecies are much the same way. The more
Prayers aren't fuel. That's not how that works.
I'm pretty certain I've read a prophecy that says otherwise. I think knowledge of certain parts of a prophecy help accelerate it along, right? Sooner or later, curiosity is what drives prophecies to fulfill themselves. Don't you think the people who created the prophecies, were thinking about that? I've fulfilled 15 in my time.
But did you have a hand in the chickens? Huh?
Sounds messy.
You did, you sneaker.
But it has to be genuine, of course. Got to be very careful to follow them to the letter.
Oh, what happens?
They don't come true. Or they'll come true at a different time, and you just won't be part of it.
So, your daughter might die, but it might be a week later after you're dead. Possibly in a cave with Drow.
Possibly, but,
okay.
I need to try. I can't just, leave her on death's door.
So what should we do?
You should help me take the nectar to my daughter and help us all get out.
I understand. I'm with you there. But is that like a right now thing?
Good, maybe tomorrow. It's a storm out now.
Okay, so alright, so we could go tomorrow. If we all agree, which I think we do, because we haven't got anything else to do.
I'm a life cleric. I will, of course, aid in the saving of a life, but I'm very concerned with all of the details behind this, especially ones that have likely been omitted, like why this happened, or what happened to her, or how you put her in stasis and that makes it okay for now.
Does she know? You know what, never mind. I'm not going to ask that.
She does know that I'm her father, yes. I mean, I don't have much except knowledge to offer you in payment, but
knowledge?
I do about everything. But if it's life that you seek to gain knowledge about, I do have I do have knowledge of something very life-giving. He like looks out the window at the glowing flower. The fertilizer that got this to grow, could have other things. It was actually quite a fun story. I was chasing down different prophecy up again in the. It was where I was last with my daughter before she got sick. We were at a temple a bit north of Crenel Bend. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
This is a Olive Insider Head question. This temple he keeps mentioning north, is it the same location of the temple that Shavia had heard things at, or was it because I knew there were a couple temples, right?
It's the Orgoosh Temple.
Is it?
You have no way of knowing. He's describing it. It sounds like further up in the wilds, but I mean, all of these things are. I mean, Crenel Bend is at like the southern coast of Augral, so like anything is north of it. So as a general direction, like literally everything in the continent is to the north of it. So it's a little bit meaningless to have somebody tell you that, relatively speaking.
Okay. Then I want to give one visual detail that I got from the Orgoosh Temple to be like, oh, was it this? I can't remember what it was, but
no. Much more on a mountain.
Okay.
Sort of roof had been caved in. Lovely stained glass windows, though. Not sure how those survived. At any rate, that was where we were, looking for pieces of the puzzle of this whole cacophony. C. I would have filed it under C.
Okay. I start looking for books or titles that have, start with C.
Right. Going through alphabetically, you do not find it. No. I meant over on this case, next to the ones about the ocean.
Oh, so it's about an ocean, not like the letter C.
The C for cacophony.
Okay, I look under ones about the ocean or water, the sea, boats, anything.
You do find one. They are sort of labeled with whatever name he has given the particular prophecy. It's a mild or moderately sized portfolio. In it does appear to be a bit darker and heralds the destruction of the worlds from the coming of a dark storm. And the there's no sort of end part of it, but the triggering event is some disruption in the laws of life and death, and sort of the afterlife and all of that. And when the balance is broken, the storm is conjured in as sort of like the way for death to reassert its balance into the world. So I was in this temple, and the statue, it has two rubies for eyes. That they I overheard some of the Seraphim rangers in town talking about how the gems of these temples are, from drops of blood from the gods or tears or what have you. So I thought, yes, this would make a good keepsake. So I pried one out of the statue there. I think it was an angel or something. I didn't have my glasses on. And big wings unfurled. Fast forward to, unfortunately, my daughter, Gilda. She's very sick. She's on death's door. No, yes, I've already told you that.
Mm-hmm.
So this gem was said to have, magical powers of, life and growth and all of that. So I crushed it up and used it to fertilize the flower, and look at it, doing so well. Not only a moderately sized crushed ruby dust do the trick, but there is another one, and I can show you where that is. You could have it.
You took the other gem? You took both of them?
No, I just took one. I only needed one.
Why did you take it in the first place?
But I mean, it was large and shiny and
And sacred.
I mean, not really sacred. The ruins are a bit destroyed.
Olive, if we were in a temple and we saw a gem, we would take the gem.
I think if it looked like it was part of something, listen, I know I got tricked by taking gems on the ground, that it's Baxi left to escape me, but that was more like scattered gems. If the gem was like in a statue that kind of meant something, I don't know if I would take that. I gotta be honest.
Well,
some things are put in places for very intelligent reasons. Not gems scattered on it. I don't know if I would take that.
Well, it's there. I can tell you where it is if you want to, reconsider.
Take it.
I mean, there's only one left, so.
Well, I think we should start with not dying on the journey to Death's Door, and then we can talk about how you're forever in our debt afterwards.
Well, no, I mean, not forever. I can figure out a way. There's something in all of this knowledge here.
But, step by step.
I mean, maybe there's a prophecy I can remember at some point that'll help you. I mean, it is a very interesting business to be in the business of, helping these prophecies along.
I mean, I gotta be honest, if the whole chicken princess thing, if I could go back in time and bet on when, the queen would get pregnant and I knew this prophecy, that would be quite profitable. But I'm not quite sure if these other prophecies we necessarily need to deal with, unless they involve maybe getting money in different ways that aren't taking gems from the statue. Anyway, I digress.
Anyway.
So, that thing about the storm destroying everything, was that shared knowledge, or is that something that just somebody saw?
Oh, I think that after this slight pause, I am then gonna read out loud what I read. So the storm, I was busy listening, but I heard Dora typing. I think.
I was in fact typing.
Okay. Got a little
cacophony prophecy. End of the world heralded by a huge storm, precipitated by disruption of the laws of life and death. The storm happens as death tries to reassert balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Halfling.
Marcos?
What do you think? How would you think that storm would manifest, and how would it be, say, different than the storm that is almost upon us?
Well, I filed it undersea, near the ocean, because it's said to have come from the ocean.
Which we are very close to, as Colonel Bend is almost a port city.
That's a very good point.
Is it coming from the direction of the ocean, just out of interest?
It's coming from the south, yes.
So, yes. It just seems coincidentally very relevant, as if staying here may be the end of the campaign to save your daughter.
Oh, right, yes. Well, I mean, storms are, prophetic in so many ways. I wouldn't take that to literally mean a storm of death.
But
it's more like a
here
metaphor.
Is the flower of life, taken from the altar plains, where gods themselves roam in the Elysian fields. I feel maybe that might be perceived by such creatures as some sort of imbalance or breaking of the, laws of life and death.
So you're saying we should leave now?
It does feel like it might be important. I don't know, but I don't like the idea of letting a prophetic storm overcome us if we have the chance not to. As you say, don't place yourself in the position for the prophecy to be true.
It's true. But you can't believe everything you read.
Not true.
Well, I suppose I could harvest the nectar. That would take me 10 minutes or so. We'd need to, stop at Colonel Ben for supplies, and then head north. If you're up for it, we can go. I mean, I was going to give you shelter from the storm, but if we're all going to die in the storm, then maybe we shouldn't. Does it say anything about me dying in that?
I just look at Olive.
Well, we need the nectar before we go, correct?
Oh, yes, it's essential. If we went all the way there without the nectar, we'd have to come all the way back.
Is it ready tonight? Can it be harvested tonight?
Yes, it'll take a little bit. It's only harvestable for a few days, but I believe it's ready to go.
Well,
I mean, in the meantime, none of this will do me any good. So if there's anything here that you could use, consider it perhaps a down payment on the large debt I will owe you.
Olive goes, so you just don't mind if I go and search for things that are valuable?
It sounds a lot like robbing me.
Well, it's kind of like you opened up.
Oh,
It's like consensual.
Right.
I was just merely gesturing to this,
So what you're saying is it's all
table of healing potions and the like, since they won't help my daughter.
You also vaguely pointed to the room. I didn't know what was out of bounds or whatnot.
You want my prophecies?
I mean, I don't know. You said
I'll tell you what. You could have one of my prophecies, which are the second most valuable thing in the world to me.
Okay.
But you have to choose it at random, because I feel like that's the way prophecies would want you to do it.
Sure, absolutely.
But you have to promise me that whatever you pick, you help fulfill it.
Oh.
So what if the prophecy we randomly pick involves your daughter getting sick and dying?
Yeah, there's no prophecy in here that has that.
Not directly. Not by name.
Bruce, stop writing things.
Goose put down the pen.
It's right here, it says. You will pay Goose 10 gold. I realize now I could have chosen any number. So, you should go get your flower juice. And we will talk about you behind your back.
All right, it's seems like a valid plan. And you're welcome to the other room's more comfortable, or you can stay here and boot around and find that prophecy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going.
Okay.
Sort of climbs halfway up the ladder. Oh, wait, turns around. Grabs a glass vial. Probably should take two, just in case one. Okay. Climbs up the ladder.
So if this was taken from a seed, I wonder if there'll be a seed produced as well.
So we all know what we have to do here, right?
Yeah.
Kill the daughter. Wait, what?
Yes.
Right.
Maybe also him probably burn this entire place to the ground.
It's made of metal.
The books.
There's so much in there. It's
No, I'll
There's
tell you.
there's some
hold
things that
on.
just shouldn't be put down on paper.
I'll tell you. If a prophecy cannot be put on paper, it's not really a prophecy. It's just words.
It's just statements.
It's a series of things people say.
And more importantly, the creature that was here at first, I still almost can see over in that corner that you were wrangling it in. No, I kind of lost it. But that thing came from intention. That wasn't there randomly.
I agree.
So we have to tread carefully as whatever is likely. Bruce, you're trying to say something. Go ahead.
Yes. whatever it shoveled into its bag, like it was trying to collect as many things as possible before it went back. I think that it is possible that Death sent that thing to try and find out where their daughter is.
A god of death, death and manifestation. But there's so many. Somebody who lives behind a door in the underworld, which could only maybe even be just the Underdark. As far as I can tell, there's Drow, so they're famously evil and famously, what's the word? Aggressive. So if we encounter them, because we are not Drow, we will likely face their wrath.
Have to kill them.
We exist, etc.
Drow are just less civilized goblins.
Yes, they've actually descended from goblins. I've heard that.
I know. It all starts with goblins. So,
I mean, how bad could that prophecy be that I could take?
Very bad. Very bad.
Yeah, randomly agreeing to be part of a prophecy feels like the start of a story about a prophecy. I don't think I enjoy that, and may wish you well on that part.
What if it's a chicken pregnancy prophecy? I mean, like, chicken pregnancy prophecies, that's easy peasy.
Yes, getting an egg, fine. But that's likely not the case here. As Zahara has pointed out, this place is home to information that might alter the entire world.
Oh, I saw that too.
Well,
look, I don't think that it's worth being overly concerned about prophecies. Prophecies will happen or they won't, as they will. If you get hung up on fate, fate will quite promptly try to hang you. But we can't tear down the world because one man is afraid of death.
well, you can.
We shouldn't.
We will.
No, we won't.
we might.
Let's try not to.
But I do recognize that we might have.
Is there a staff involved? Some sort of. Wait a minute.
Some sort of continually growing chance to rip open a hole into another plane. I'm just saying that death is a natural part of life, and
well,
it's a supernatural part of life.
We say that, but you know, we only think that because that's how it's always been.
You're only saying that because no one's ever done it before.
I mean, goblins think that, you know, moss growing on the walls is a natural part of life. But then when you get out of the caves, you realize that not all walls have moss.
Yes, but moss does still grow on walls outside of caves.
Not all walls.
Break this down.
About 5 more minutes.
Okay, so here's the thing.
No moss on these walls.
We're gonna take him to his daughter, but we're gonna not revive her.
Oh, very much. I'm going to do what I can to revive it. Make no mistake. I am a cleric of life. It is my my divine duty to help those I can.
But isn't that subverting? Hang on.
No, that is within the natural realm. This world has always had clerics of life, as much as they've had evil death gods. So it is a struggle between the two.
So, if it were against nature to stop somebody from dying, all healing magic would be bad.
Correct.
I think it is natural to fight against death by keeping people alive. I fight against death every day by not throwing myself off of a cliff. That is my battle that I fight through.
Chris, do I need to be concerned about you?
No, it's just, you know,
well, actually, no.
The call of the void.
Or the void. Ghost, climb inside that bear's mouth. No, Ghost, don't. Not again.
Chris, maybe,
isn't
we need to consider therapy.
her death, that her escaping death is the end of the world. Am I hearing that right again?
I think that's a supposition that we're making, and I think it depends on why she's dying.
Yes, let's gather more before we come to conclusions.
Okay.
But I'm simply saying that at the end of the day, we're all going to have to die at some point, and
Not on my watch, we're not.
You have 2 clerics in your party, and one of them's a life cleric. In a few more levels, that's not going to be true anymore.
The other one actively did not save my one character that he could have.
Yeah. So cactus.
The other one was gone. One of those was gone too quickly. But the other one could have been healed, and instead the cleric went the other way and jumped in a shelter, and then I just died. Just historically speaking, that happens.
Just bringing it up.
Potato, potato.
So, although we have 2 clerics, it's hard to say that Roost has ever used a healing spell or anything on anybody, really, besides Goose.
Okay, hold on, that's not true. The last time Goose used healing, it was to try and save Goose's friend, who then immediately committed suicide. So, you know.
Well, so then Goose is going to heal Zahara, because Zahara is Goose's next best friend, after Eloise.
I like to think of my friends as equal in terms of friendship.
Oh, okay.
Though some are more best than others.
There we go.
Equally.
All right, I've got the nectar.
Let's
okay. Go. Before we, during this time,
Zahara.
can we have help him pack what he needs or whatnot, but also possibly accomplish I'm trying to think about if I want to use my temporary healing point thing as a shift. I guess how much time are we spending before we head out again?
It's entirely up to you. He, you can see, has the "I'm going to go save my daughter's life" bag already packed.
Oh, okay. Right.
And he has a jar of this sort of orangish red, now glowing liquid that's about yay big, which he's sort of wrapped up.
God's marmalade.
Wrapped up. The flower itself does seem a bit dimmer. Not completely out, but it does look like some amount of something has been taken from it.
So what were the items that you mentioned that could help us on this journey?
Yeah, well, there's, a few healing potions there. I'm not entirely sure what some of the rest of these are or do, but, they're all, not bad for you or anything. I don't think.
Well, why not? Let's take them.
Neosporin? What the?
Well, let's take the things and be on our way.
There are 4 basic healing potions, and I will say 1d4 plus 2 other potions, which we will roll to see what they are.
Who would like to roll?
Find a decent.
I can do it. 1d4.
We should all roll 1. D4. Somehow we got 16. I don't know how.
It's 2.
So what did I say? 1d4.
2 plus 2, so it's 4 more.
So 4 potions. I'll use D&D Beyond.
I can add 1 standard healing potion to my.
There's 4 of them. You can divvy them up as you would like.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then this mystery potion. I guess I'll take 1 of those as well. I assume I'll have to identify them all eventually.
All right. So how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Roll a. I need 4 rolls of a 1d40.
What did you do,
13.
Stand by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1d50.
10, 11, 12. What did you say? 13?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. useless. I love it. One of them is a potion of comprehension.
Okay.
What you understand is that you're drinking it.
When you drink this potion, you gain the effect of comprehend languages spell for 1 hour.
Wow! Yay!
30. So that's 20.
Olive, roll the 14 first.
2.
Yeah.
Stand by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Potion of diminution. When you drink this potion, you gain the reduce effect of the enlarge reduce spell for 1d4 hours.
It could be a tiny creature.
Alright. I hope you're writing this down, because I'm not.
And
Yep.
then you could ride Eloise.
And then we're going to have 30. 1, 2, 3,
Count from.
Dora hasn't rolled.
2. We have 2 potions.
Oh no.
Do they stack?
We can go to the potion misability table.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. I missed the first edition one where it would either explode or make it permanent.
Oh, this one's a wild mount one.
New content, probably busted.
Keep moving up until it's an appropriate one? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't love this one. It's a very Mercer thing. So wait, what did we... I'm on the 30. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. These are all hilarious because it's all things that you already have.
Potion of Roost? What the hell?
Spawns 1d6 ghosts.
They're all tiny.
We want a 6-pack of Groose.
So
Upon drinking
It's like
this,
it's the little Minecraft mini-me.
no, you
Oh,
just
yeah.
you drink it, and then you're able to, as a bonus action, proclaim any enemy to be your best friend.
This has no mechanical effect.
all right,
Says
we're
no
just gonna
on their attitude. Yeah.
we'll go with this one. I don't think it's not that broken. It's just sort of weird. It's called a potion of possibility.
Ugh.
You'll have to
It's a
look.
dunamancy thing, probably.
I mean, it's just a potion. When you drink this clear potion, you gain 2 fragments of possibility, each of which looks like a tiny grayish bead of energy that follows you around, staying within 1 foot of you at all times. Fragments last for 8 hours or until used. When you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can expend a fragment to roll an additional d20 and choose which of the d20s to use. Alternatively, when an attack roll is made against you, you can similarly do the same thing.
So it's really the
It's
luck
like
thing.
it's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
essentially
potion
a luck thing. Okay, and then a 14 is another potion of diminution.
All right. So, if everybody can keep track of a basic healing potion on their own.
The big potion, or the potion of possibility, probably this side, but the diminution, you have to drink all of it.
It's like a giant gallon of colonoscopy fluid.
Right.
Oh,
That change.
it's kind of chalky.
Milk of magnesia.
All right.
This will heal you, but it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Ah.
So you quickly stuff some of the contents of this man's home there. Olive, did you have any interest in taking a prophecy?
Yes.
All right.
1d 14,000.
I am going to...
She's too
Where is
curious.
this?
I'm too curious.
Could you please write the entire prophecy right now and put it in chat?
No, it'll have to be a a slightly different thing. So wait, how many of these are there? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
Let's see if there's a prophecy generator online.
30, 31, 32, 33.
There he is.
34, 35, 36.
Nope.
Oh, 56.
Oh, okay.
1d56, please.
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Ah!
That's not what I wanted you to roll on.
Wow.
Wait. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 1d22, please.
Okay.
Average.
I'm gonna like make a prophecy based on this. It could have been a lot worse. Just so you know, I'm basing this off of the deck of many things.
I actually figured it was gonna be something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Cool.
Summon death. Oh,
Uh,
we're at the end already.
Can you type it to me?
Well, it's not. I need to make a prophecy out of the thing.
Oh, okay.
The deck of many things is like you pull a card and it just immediately happens, right?
Oh, right. Sorry.
And so that could be like you all die, right? So
Right,
it's like
right.
I need to make it a little bit more player agency focused.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So,
Did you message it to me?
no. Well, we need supplies for the road. I mean, I guess maybe we can make it to Krenel Bend before the storm?
We should take to the road and avoid the storm.
The
I mean,
road?
it's already raining pretty hard. I think we're going to be in a storm no matter what.
Yes, but the brunt of it.
So,
I don't know where it makes sense. So whatever area makes sense to do less of the storm is fine.
Less of the storm is
I don't know if we... I mean, do you all have enough food and all of that to, you know, take a couple
according
weeks
to my character sheet, yes.
journey?
Oh, well, we should do that actually.
You're all stocked up? I mean, looks like you all carry an alarming amount of stuff with you at all times anyway. It's sort of odd.
All those cast iron pan clinks against the table. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could... The road is going to lead us back to the Whispering Rill. I mean, we could sort of bypass Krenel Bend if you don't need to go there at all.
Not to like retrofit or whatnot, but I mean, we were leaving Xavia's, and we were probably leaving to be on the road for a while.
We have all of our belongings.
Relatively
You have all
safe?
of your stuff, yes.
Right.
Safe is not a word I will commit
Not
to.
safe. Okay. All right. But I'm just trying to think, like, if we were leaving her house, like she's kicking us out. I guess we didn't have much time in Krenel Bend before we left to get supplies.
Yes, I mean you wouldn't have stocked up thinking that you were going to be away from civilization for multiple weeks.
Okay, well then we need to do that.
But you may already just like, I carry 10 rations with me and I'll, cast create food and water and I'll be fine. Or we'll forage or whatever. So that's a choice you can make. But you do sort of have to go back that way anyway, because that's sort of how you connect up to the ways to go north. So you head out in that direction. Do you wish to stop at Crennel Bend, or do you wish to bypass it?
I mean, I technically on my sheet only have 1 day of rations, which is weird. That I need to get supplies. Does anyone else need supplies?
Probably.
Okay.
All right. So heading into Crennel Bend. Yes.
Yes.
So the storm itself seems to be nigh upon you at this point. The rain is coming down in sheets. It's windy. Branches rattle and creak against each other. Rain just smatters in your face. It's raining kind of like almost horizontally at times. It's tough going. It's wet. It's miserable. Temperature seems to be dropping. And as you sort of get back out from the woods back onto the road, about 2/3 of the way journey there, you can look up and you see that sort of this swirling clouds that you thought were coming in with this storm. From them shoots down lightning bolts impacting around, and then you hear this high-pitched whining noise of wind that sounds more and more like a sort of collection of screeches and screams than wind itself. Kind of have this hollow feeling in the pit of your stomach as you start to near Crennel Bend more, where this sort of mass of black clouds is going. You look up and you see that these aren't clouds. These are large swarms of ravens. And they've all sort of begun to descend down upon the...
They're all birds?
It's all birds.
This isn't rain? Ah!
There is rain falling.
Oh, okay.
But the thick, dark, dense clouds that you've seen, it's not a dark storm cloud. It's collections of birds. And as you sort of near the town, you can see the birds have descended down. It looks like most of Crennel Bend is all, hiding from this. And you also see, now that your eyes are directed skyward, it's hard with the rain, but every once in a while you catch the flash of lightning that illuminates everything in this sort of like monochrome, and you see silhouettes of dark, large, winged creatures just sort of swooping amongst all of this, and from each of them you can hear screeching noises. And that is where we are going to end tonight.
I think it's generally considered to be a good thing when ravens descend en masse on a town.
Yeah,
I think that's actually universally considered to be a good omen.
Absolutely.
I think this is going really well.
I thought the ravens were in Baltimore.
Actually, they were originally from Crennel Bend. Just they were traded there.
They just got here, so
Yeah.
maybe they were just getting here.
Yeah. Cool. Well, welcome back. I was doing a lot of things, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft." It's like, let's go a little more gothic.
Yeah.
Turn the knob up to 43. That seems about a good volume. Cool. Well, off you go. Seems like a pretty straightforward thing.
Yeah, just go to Hell's Door.
Not hell.
Death.
Not
Underworld. Underworld. Sort of hell.
No, the underworld is neutral.
The underworld is vampires. I've seen those movies.
Well, welcome back to Mondays. Thank you all for watching. I know I'm supposed to say a bunch of stuff, so I'll just do that now. Kevin MacLeod, songs. Also tabletop audio, songs. There were a bunch of them. Thanks, Roll20 Spotlight program. Thanks, social media. Roll it slant. Search. YouTube. Episodes. Where's my life? There's so much of this. It's kind of okay. Great. There's no Critical Role, so just binge watch some Roll It Slant. Because there will be references to previous campaigns. There's going to be a quiz on it, viewers. There was already 1 or 2 tonight.
Sure.
What am I missing?
Sanity.
I knew you were going to say that.
Sure.
The formula works. Small NPC in trouble.
We're like, we're gonna go here. You're like, no, you're not. Oh.
We'll get to Nosrael yet.
I mean, we can still go to Nosrael. It was one of the things I sort of prepared. This could have gone, this could have gone a whole different way.
I knew we should have mugged him.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just said no, peace out, but you didn't. Cool. I don't need it to sound like it's raining anymore. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure. We had a resub from Skywhale6 for 14 months. 14-month streak. Woo! We're going streaking for 14 months.
Ooh, the
Cool.
sunburn, the windburn.
Yeah. If you run really
The
fast,
commitment.
I guess. So, until next time.
Footwear.
Go on.
I prophesize you will be successful in life.
I'm
Very
like,
motivational.
You got something better?